What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to Horrific Visions. Today we are going to be doing our 8 mask run tutorial. This is like my third 8 mask run of the day. This was probably the best run that I actually had. Things to note, I do have the complete tree unlocked. So I farmed a couple Horrific Visions and just maxed out the tree. So I have all of those benefits and all that sort of stuff going on. I do use my cheat death as well, so my 500 sanity restore and my full death here, just because I'm a moron. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used it at all, and I do use an orb just for safety. So you definitely could do this a little bit cleaner than I did, because I will make a couple mistakes, but it's important to know that those mistakes do happen. The potion in this run is green, as we saw on the ground there very briefly, so that means our helpful / sanity restore potion is red. I go ahead and check the bearskin rug area over there, and this one will actually be open, so we're going to go ahead and kill Augustus Mullane here. He's going to give us a 60-minute versatility buff, which will be very, very nice, so we'll have 7% versatility for the rest of this run. And my strategy, I guess, for all of this was really just to get as many buffs early as I possibly could, just so that I had maximum uptime for those a little bit later in the run. Right here, I bolster Hogger a little bit. So there is going to be a mask that we're using that will bolster enemies, increase their damage based on how many other enemies have died around them. So I think for 8 mask runs especially, my strategy would probably be to just take them slower. I know it's going to feel a little bit frantic and a little bit panicked and all that sort of stuff, but slow down and it will be a lot easier. You're not going to run out of sanity even if you're going pretty slow and you have decent gear. So just keep that in mind. Don't rush too much. Don't pull too big because you might just get nuked. I go over to the trade district here just because I want to check and see if the bank is open. Ordinarily, I would just beeline it straight to the mage quarter, but I think this is worth checking just because the mage quarter can be so brutal. In these runs, I just wanted to see if I could get as strong as humanly possible. So if there was another one in the Cathedral District, another buff, I would go ahead and get that one. But I go ahead and check here. We're going to kill this neglected guild bank, and we're going to get the 10% crit buff that you get off of him for an hour as well. So now we're rocking a 10% crit buff and a 7% verse buff. We're going to eat a nice little stun here and then carry on our merry way. So we're pretty buffed up as well. Maxing out the tree also gives you plenty of bonus damage, and we won't have to deal with these mobs later, so that is very, very good. But as I was mentioning before, we use one orb just for safety. We'll use our cheat death, but we won't use any potions, no sanity restore potions, nothing like that. No health pots. Pretty standard consumables for this as well. So you could even like bring bloodlust into this if you wanted to, if you would bring drums, whatever. Right here, I would probably recommend you could probably try and like line of sight this or something like that. There's a lot of these clawing corruptions that actually will buff all of the mobs over here. So if you don't have strong AoE, this was probably like the first mistake that I would not recommend that you do. There's a lot of AoEs. You're slowed because of the madness that's going on in this area. And I actually spawn Hogger, and I give him 10 stacks by killing everything else near him, which is very, very scary. So he's going to be hitting like an absolute freight train. As you see, I use Blur, so I'm able to pretty much survive and absorb a lot of the souls from defeated enemies. So I'm able to heal myself pretty well. But you definitely don't want to buff Hogger like that. Take that specific choke very, very slowly. It can be very, very dangerous. But we're going to go right up here towards the first boss. And this guy will be one of the easier things in this wing. I've done this a few times, and I think the Magister was definitely the hardest part in pretty much every single attempt that I've done this on. So we're not going to pop meta here. I just am kind of holding on for it for no reason. I probably could have popped it here because it'll be up in 2 minutes, but I'm just not thinking about it. So we'll wait for the 2 Shadow Bolts. We'll bait the Rain of Fire after the second cast, and then we're going to get back in there, wait another 2 Shadow Bolts, and then he will Rain of Fire again. But I don't get the second Rain of Fire, so it's all good. But that's the pattern there. So just take 2 Shadow Bolts, doesn't do any sanity damage, bait the Rain of Fire if you're a melee. If you're range, it's not really going to affect you at all. And again, right here, could have meta'd, but I'm thinking that I can clear this in about 2 minutes, under 2 minutes, something like that. So I just go ahead and save it because I'm weird like that. We're going to go ahead and just kill this guy. He's just kind of annoying. Just dodge all the swirlies on the ground. It's just a lot of a lot of ground coverage, but he should go down pretty easily. We'll wait for the split personality to spawn, and then we'll clean up these last few portals before getting into the hard part. These mobs are going to be pretty easy. They don't have too many extra mobs because of the Mask of Multitudes that you have to have on. So Mask of Multitudes and the buffing mask is really the reason that this is going to be more challenging. That's really the main mechanic that you have to be on the lookout for. Sanity is not really an issue. Damage is not really an issue for me. It's really just going to be buffing things, either taking too much health too quickly, getting CC'd, or any of these bosses that do some guaranteed sanity damage, or just kind of messing up in that way. And you'll see me mess up here at some point in the run as well. So again, not going to be a perfect run, but this is what we did. Again, this was like our second or third 8 mask run. So go ahead and take out the rest of these portals. You also just want to be sure that if you can control Hogger spawn, definitely do so. The kills until Nemesis spawn is at 13 on the top of the screen there. So you can see we need to kill 13 more things before Hogger spawns. If you feel like that's getting close and you see just a random mob all by itself, go ahead and kill that. Spawn Hogger, kill him solo, something like that. As you can see, a few, like 30 seconds ago or so, I went ahead and spawned Hogger, killed him individually. I just didn't want him to get buffed by all those other mobs. It's just he enrages, he can hit pretty hard, it's kind of annoying. So right here, I opt to actually kick the Entropic Missiles here. He's going to have the Polymorph that you also want to kick, but being a Demon Hunter, I just meta it, so I actually can't be polymorphed in that animation, so I go ahead and don't need to use an interrupt for that specifically. I'll take a little bit of sanity damage there, 150 sanity, again, not a perfect run, definitely should have not planted there, but we're going to go ahead and phase him before he actually uses his second polymorph, which is a very, very nice thing to have happen. And we're going to dash all the way across the encounter area and try and catch up with him. So we're going to take this nice and slow, and I actually end up doing enough damage where I can just kick the Entropic Missiles, don't have to worry about another Polymorph cast, and we're all good. If you have any kind of like magic communities or something like that, I would definitely recommend saving them for here. Yeah, great idea. That boss is really, really annoying. So he will break your runs a lot of the time. Take him as slow as you need to. Don't phase him before you. If you need to wait for cooldowns or something like that, you don't need to phase him too quickly. That sort of thing. So just to my left here is where you would get the Bearskin Rug buff. So if you see that one up in the beginning, I would definitely clear all this a little bit earlier. See if you can get the buff, kill a couple things in there, and that will give you another buff that you can use for the entire run. But having the 7% versatility and the 10% crit is a big issue, or a big deal. So not an issue. It's definitely not an issue. It's a help. It's a great help. So if you can, any buffs that you can get early on, they will pay dividends, especially because we then had the throughput to kill the Magister. We didn't have to deal with a couple more tainted polymorphs that we ordinarily would have. So as you can see, I'll just flash my item level up there real quick. I'm 665, not statted for Havoc, not really. A lot of it's like champion track gear and that sort of thing. So no crazy gear or anything like that. I've seen a lot of people doing 8 mask runs that are just incredibly powerful, like 680, something like that. And I'm like, yeah, of course this is easy. So I will be doing this on a slightly less geared character, something that's a little bit more doable. We'll spawn Hogger here, and we actually just passed by the place where you can get another buff. So if you go into this wing and the door, I'll ping it here in a second. So right there, that room, if that's open, there should be a lot of mines on the ground. Just weave your way through them, get upstairs, step on the green mine that is at the very top, make sure the green mine goes away. You should have another 60-minute buff, and that will help you out with the rest of the run as well. So that's another buff that you can just track down. That should help you. We will buff this Voidfire Death Cycle to Kingdom Come here, and go ahead and take this wing nice and slow. This is going to be a very easy wing, so this is going to be just like the woo-saw moment, like we'll chill, we'll hang out, we'll have a deep breath, it's going to be great. So we will pull this boss individually, no need to pull him with anything else. We don't want to bolster his damage at all. As you can see, his auto attacks still hit quite a bit. You know, they're definitely no joke, so we don't want to give him any more damage than we have to. We'll dodge these entropic leaps, and we'll go ahead and take him out. Yeah, then we'll plant this bomb, go into the last few mobs of the area, Just AoE these. And I think a lot of the time, too, I would make sure that you have a funnel target as well. So the highest health mob in the group is going to be your primary target. You want to make sure that they are as low as possible when you kill all the other little fodder, just so that you can, have that highest health and probably most buffed mob at as low health as possible when you kill everything else. As you can see, that highest health mob dies at about the same time, just because I'm giving him a little bit more juice on that end. And again, we're going to focus these will breakers here, have him as our primary target. Everything else is we're actually going to swap targets to the shadow guy, and we're going to kill everything at a reasonable time, just to make sure that they don't have that damage buff for too long. We're going to detonate this plunger and then go into the last boss of this area. This guy's going to be very, very easy as well. Just going to make sure to dodge the Forge Breath, kick the bombs away by right-clicking them, or I think you can left-click them too, but we'll just right-click these, kick them out of our way. Don't need to deal with those. Pop meta, just because I'm not going to need it for a little bit. And we're going to absolutely slaughter this guy. Having trouble clicking on that other bomb, but it doesn't matter, because we will just take them out. We have plenty of buffs on our side at this point. With the fully maxed out tree, we're going to be getting that extra damage boost just for being in a vision. We're going to have that stacking movement speed buff. We're going to have the versatility, the crit. It's going to be great. So this wing is going to be very, very dangerous. There's a lot of mobs like this where it looks like 3 mobs, but then these light hunters come out of nowhere and they hit you for a ton. They actually reduce your haste. It's just not a good time. So be very, very careful in this wing. This is actually where I end up using my cheat death, I believe. So yeah, just be very, very careful with this wing. They slow your haste right as they pop out of stealth. So that little poison debuff that you see me get every so often, that is going to lower my haste by a ton. And it actually lowers it just increases your global cooldown so much that I actually didn't have as much time as I thought to press buttons that I wanted to press. So yeah, just be very, very careful. I realize that I'm going a little bit fast here, so I just try and back up, and we'll kill this in over here. I don't actually think that you need to clear this or anything like that. I don't think this gives you a buff or anything, but I end up doing it anyway, just because I'm hanging out. And now we're already in here, so we might as well just wait, go ahead and get some extra mementos from this guy, and there we go. So we'll head back outside and keep making our way down this corridor. I actually end up forgetting the mini-boss on the right-hand side there, so if you were doing this, you probably should go ahead and do the mini-boss first. I don't know why. In all 3 runs, I forget that boss is there, so very, very bad. Yeah, so that will be pretty unfortunate. And right here, I take quite a bit of damage, but we're able to randomly survive that. Hogger spawns, so we'll get a nice little sanity refill there. And go ahead and go into this last mini boss before Mathias Shaw. So nothing really too bad to worry about on this guy. Just move out of the purple, and you should be all good. And then I actually get to this point. Right here is where I just take so much damage. My haste is so low, and I don't actually have the global to press my Chaos Nova. So this is where I cheat. This mob is very, very scary, actually. So as you can see, I lost a lot of health very, very quickly and lost some sanity on top. So yeah, just be very, very careful with that. It's just a real, real pain. So I remember that I have to go back. If you were doing this, please don't do this. It doesn't matter. I'm still fine on time, though, so it doesn't really play into it a whole lot. I'm pretty confident that I'm still good to almost not use an orb if I really didn't want to. But we drop below 50% sanity here, so we're going to start spawning these horrific figments. Got to get out of that smash. We're going to dodge the frontal and then get right back in here. Start chopping it up. She's pretty easy to kill, though, even though I just played that horribly. It's all good. We're still back at 50% sanity going into Mathias Shaw. Shaw doesn't really do a lot of guaranteed sanity damage as well, so we don't need to worry about that too much. We have everything cleared out here, so we can safely mount up, move at 100% speed. We're going to go ahead and click this key right here. I don't see Alleria, but She should be on the other one. Somehow she was stealth and it worked. And then we'll go into Shaw. So we just want to make sure that we don't look at the eyes. Gonna take some random ticks of sanity just because we're putting all these little puddles on the ground and we just have to move a lot in this fight. So I'm trying to look away. These eyes will sometimes try and bait. Like, you can kind of bait them to some degree. They'll try and move where you're looking, from my experience. So I'm trying to look in, when I'm moving around, I'm trying to look in a direction that I want them to be. So I want those eyes to go over there. So we'll have that one go a little bit that way. And then we can safely look back this way and fight Shaw. They used to bait a little bit easier, but now it feels like it's a little bit more challenging. So he spawns the third eye. It's just kind of annoying. But yeah, you don't take too much damage. Don't take too much sanity damage from this guy. So just take your time on him. It's all good. And the last district that we have is the Trade District. So I'm a little bit skittish about dying on these mobs now just because I took some damage before. You see me pop Blur there. I don't want to get one shot like I did that previous pull. So a little bit scary, especially because I don't have I have I-beam going on. And we'll just take out these last couple mobs. Hogger spawns, which is very, very nice. So we'll get a nice little influx of sanity. We don't have any other mobs around. He only gets bolstered twice, so he's going to have a little bit of a damage buff, but not too bad. He hasn't really gotten his cast off, but that will fear you. So make sure that you kick Hogger if you're able to. Unless you just nuke him, and, you know, in that case, good for you. And we'll go ahead and kill this last tentacle over here. And we already have like half the trade district cleared just because we opened this up earlier and went to the bank. So we're going to go ahead and just get into this, kill the first mini boss, and kill the final boss, and then we're chilling. We're in a good spot. But we haven't used any orbs yet. So as you can see, you're able to keep your sanity pretty high up. There's a lot of mobs in this dungeon that you can just use to spawn Hogger. Hogger will give you 150 sanity if you've done a lot of visions or done a decent amount of visions. It didn't take me that long to farm that up, so I don't even think I really tried to farm it up, but we're going to meta here. We're going to wait for him to actually get the Agonizing Torment cast off, because it will give you a little bit of a delay before he recasts it again, and then we're just going to eat this one up. So we're just going to take, we're at full sanity, we're just going to take all of that sanity damage, get another 150 back from him. And we know that we have Hogger spawning in 6 mobs as well, so we know that we're going to get a big influx of sanity here in a second. Don't need to really worry about falling down too low here. And that was just a judgment call. I just wanted to kind of play with fire a little bit there. So we're going to get a Hogger and back up to about 75% sanity with another mini-boss looming. And it is going to be a pretty easy mini-boss as well. No guaranteed sanity damage, nothing like that. So feeling pretty confident. We accidentally pull here, but that is a-okay. We're only going to bolster stuff about one time, so no big deal. We'll take the rest of this out. And this is where the madness that forces you to run, it doesn't happen super often. It only happens to me a couple times, but that was where I actually lost a lot of sanity on this guy. So try and face your character in a direction that you wouldn't mind going pretty much the entire time. It's just something that I've kind of experimented with on this guy. It's pretty annoying. So when you see me, like, I'm trying to look like through the boss towards pools that or towards places that don't have pools. It's kind of a little thing and it doesn't happen very often, but if the run decides that you want to move, you are going to move. So just be comfortable with going forward. Try not to point yourself at those apparitions or anything like that, because you don't want to get randomly stunned into a couple different mechanics, because you are taking double sanity damage with the Mask of the Daredevil equipped. So we're just going to go ahead and unlock all these cages. This is the order that I do them in. But we've already killed everything over here, so this cage is just kind of waiting for us. We are sitting in a good spot. So we've pretty much cleared everything in the run. All we have to do is do Alleria. And I definitely mess up a little bit on Alleria. You will probably do it much, much cleaner than I will. But it is all good. We still get the dub. And there we go. So we unlock the last cage, and then we'll just run back over to the Cathedral District here. And Alleria will have versions of all the mechanics that we've kind of dealt with this entire run. So We're going to have to deal with the eyes from Mathias Shaw. We're going to have to deal with the bombs from the guy in the Dwarven District. We're going to have to deal with the polymorph from the Mage Tower. It's gonna be something. So I'm tempted to not use an orb here and just tempt fate, but you know, I just decided to use one. So we're gonna get back up to full sanity here and start fighting Alleria. I move quite a bit on this first little part here, which kind of bogs down the area that I'm able to use for the boss. But I do end up baiting the bombs over there, so don't need to worry about those too much. Not going to focus on kicking those. I'm just going to hit the boss. We'll interrupt the Tainted Polymorph. Darkened Sky will come out just as she teleports, which is very, very nice, so we're able to dodge that and get a little bit of damage on her. And then we're going to be looking towards the wall, trying to bait the eye to go towards us. We'll bait the bombs right there as well, so we don't have to kick those as well. Darkened Sky will come out. We'll dodge the swirlies. Chains of Servitude comes out, so we're just going to stay away from the boss. Keep looking away from the eye as we run away, making sure not to get sucked into the boss there. She's going to start casting Tainted Polymorph again, so we'll kick that. Darkened Sky will come out, so we'll dodge the swirlies. Void Eruption will make sure that we are able to line of sight here. And we're going to go ahead and look away from the eye while we do so. We'll bait the bombs again in a good spot over there. Darkened Sky will come out. And this is where I actually take 2 ticks of the fire as well. So I kick the boss here, and I actually end up stepping in the fire for about 300 sanity, which is not nothing. So you wouldn't want to do that if you were you and you weren't me. Void Eruption comes out, just trying to look away from the eye. Make sure that I dodge the swirlies because these will do a lot of damage. If you're going to take any mechanic in this, I would probably recommend taking the eye. All the other things will do way, way more than that. So if you have to look at the eye for a split second in order to dodge another mechanic, that's more than fine. As you can see, my sanity is pretty low here, but we end up taking out the boss here, and we just kind of lost 300 sanity for no reason. So that is my 8-mask run. I hope you guys learned something. Let me know how it goes for you guys. This is going to be a little bit more gear dependent, but that is all good. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next. Leave a like on the video if you liked it, if this was helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.